To the NBA, Kyrie Irving says he has a lot on his plate, cited family and personal stuff as his reason for a nearly 2-week pause in his playing career. But after 7 missed games, Irving was back at practice Tuesday. Coach Steve Nash says he expects Kyrie will play Wednesday in what would be his first game with Brooklyn's new Big Three.
There's a lot of family and personal stuff going on, so just want to leave it at that.
For the net fan out there who wasn't sure why you were not playing and was frustrated by that, would you have any explanation to those fans, that fan?
I want to apologize to them as well. My commitment has always been to bringing something special to Brooklyn. It wasn't just a championship. It was unity, it was equality, it was just bigger things than just the game itself. I'm back. I'm happy to be back. And we got some great pieces, and we just move on. And I let my actions and my game speak for itself like I planned on doing. Just needed a pause.
He is his own dude, and they got some squad now in Brooklyn, the Big Three. The big question is who's going to get the ball in crunch time, right? All three, Harden, Durant, Irving, in the top 4 league-wide for clutch time usage rate over the past decade. We got a small glimpse last night in a close win over the Bucks. KD's usage.
Yes, indeed. Something that you've been waiting to see. It is the court of Candace, and it is now officially in session. We will be here to cross-examine, but ultimately you have the judge, the jury, and in some cases the executioner right here, right before your eyes. So, Candace, we've seen everything that's been going on with the Big Three, so we want to put this out there. Is this actually going to work? That is the question posed today.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say that I got props. But this show, now that we're in Atlanta, I got props. But here's the big thing, and this is the big question. The Big Three. What do we have, bro? What? Give me the accolades.
All right, so you see the resume on the screen because we're going to set everything up perfectly so you have all the information that you need. We already know about KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. The resume is impeccable, like T.I. once said. But before we go here, let's check out Kyrie because he's missed the last 7 games due to personal reasons and health and safety protocol. This is the first time we've heard from him earlier Tuesday, and he was transparent and showed accountability. Take a listen.
I'm a hometown kid, so things hit a little different when, family or personal stuff going on, and that's up to me to handle that as a man. But yeah, I just take full accountability for my absence with the guys, and just had a conversation with each one of them, and we move on. It's pretty interesting in watching when you take a break from everything. There's just so many assumptions about what's going on, and so many people feel like they know me best. They have no idea who I am, nor what I'm about, or what I stand for, or even attempt to take the time, or even for me to invite them to take the time. So it's a 2-way street. And when things become overwhelming in life, you just got to take a step back and realize what's important. And I love to play. That's never been questioned. I've committed myself, when this wasn't even a thing for me. I didn't really care about media, didn't really care about the fandom. All I cared about was just the ethics of the game and being taught the fundamentals. And now that it's become bigger and there's more of a responsibility that I have in this position I'm in, I'm grateful because I'm able to stand on this platform with others alongside of me that have sacrificed and are going through similar things. So I'm not alone in this. And, that's just a big thing about also mental health, just coming in and being balanced with yourself first and then being able to perform. So, with everything going on in the world, politically, socially, like I said, it's hard to ignore. I want to make changes daily. There are so many oppressed communities, so many things going on that are bigger than just a ball going in the rim. So for me, I just, like I said, it's just the balance of it, of knowing I can delegate my responsibilities off the court to people that I'm surrounded around that are for the fight and are fighting behind the scenes and in front in the lines. And like I said, I'm not the only one that's fighting, so I'm grateful to unify with others, and that's all I've tried to do. And on the court, the same way, just play with a smile, leave something that I've felt very dear to my heart with this game, and then, whatever my legacy is after that as a person, that's all I really care about.
So a lot to unpack right there. Kyrie said a whole bunch, but we're in Candace's court. So in other Big Threes, we know there's always a player that has to sacrifice. You think about Dennis Rodman back in the day with the Bulls. Maybe you think about James Worthy, present day Ray Allen with the Big Three, with the Celtics, Chris Bosh, and so on and so on. So Kyrie now appears to be the third in pecking order. James Harden's the primary ball handler. KD is KD. Their chemistry is undeniable. Candace, is this going to work?
Well, Ro, you bring up a great point. You talked about other big threes. And with that, you talk about Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Dennis Rodman. It is known which of the big three is the lesser big three. Same thing with Miami. You talk about Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, the pecking order. Everyone knew who was going to take the last shot. Everyone knew who was going to have to sacrifice. D. Wade being one of the ones that had a championship, LeBron going for a championship, Chris Bosh coming to join the party. So I think that pecking order was a lot different. And the same thing goes with other big threes. You even talk about the Spurs and their dynasty with their big three, which changed in the future with Kawhi being added to that eventually. But in the case of this, it is debatable. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving has won a championship. James Harden is that third piece that's coming to a team. Also, you take into effect teams that have drafted players that haven't traded in terms of big threes. So none of these players have been with this franchise for an extremely long time. KD and Kyrie decided to come over this summer. But for me, I think success goes off of if three guys are at their point in their career when they're ready to win together. Because we saw one of the best big threes that could have ever possibly been was OKC, who drafted Russell Westbrook, drafted James Harden, and Kevin Durant. So with that being said, if they were 25, 26 instead of 21, 22, would they have won championships? So I'm going to go at all of these guys are at the stage in their career when they're ready to win, they're ready to sacrifice, and they're men, not boys, as James Harden said.
Now, this isn't something that's out of your jurisdiction. You've been a part of big threes in your career as well. You and Nneka Ogwumike were the primary option, but there was other players that had to, in some cases, sacrifice as well. How did you handle that situation?
I think there is a pecking order, but there's also an ability for everybody to understand that within whatever game, anybody can rise to the occasion. As we've seen just in terms of with LeBron leaning on D. Wade for leadership, knowing what it's taken. There's a lot of times you don't know what it takes to win a championship, and guys are striving for that. One of the best players in the game, LeBron James, did not know what it took to win a championship until he went to Miami and played with other great players. So I think James Harden is searching for that closer, which is KD and Kyrie. And I think that they're going to complement each other. I think everybody's debating, they're listening to all of this, and they're understanding that they have a responsibility to prove us wrong, because nobody believes it's going to work. But guess what? I think it's going to work. I got them winning a championship. I have them winning a championship in Brooklyn. I did not say this year. I said within 3 years, the Brooklyn Nets will have a championship.
And that is the fact beyond reasonable doubt. Smitty, I know that you've been a part of some special teams, an all-star in '98 with the Atlanta Hawks. You had Mookie Blaylock and you had Dikembe Mutombo. That was your big three in the ATL. Your thoughts on this current big three?
Well, Candace said it best. And just to add to that, it comes down to communication, but it also comes down to transparent communication. And also, you got to understand is when you win in a championship, things go on in the locker room. You're going to have to be able to definitely have those conversations that you don't want to have. And that's what I think me, Dikembe, and Mookie had. I mean, we had times where we would go at each other. I mean, and it was all like Candace said, because we all was ready to win and we were trying to win. I think for this big three right now is somebody's going to have to sacrifice. Somebody's going to be more of a facilitator. Some people's going to have to defend more. But I think more importantly, you're going to also have to understand is you can't exclude your other teammates. They got to feel a part of this when you want to win a championship, because it's more than just that big three. And if they can get those guys involved and not stand around in constant motion, I think they'll be okay.
There it is. No objection for Candace and Smitty. Case closed in Candace's court. Oh, man, hold up. Shouts out to Curtis. When did Candace Parker become the NBA Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? Hey, Curtis, you ain't know? Come on.